The Homeschooling Interactive Magazine is a magazine that embraces and celebrates the entire homeschooling experience. Our magazine is different from all the rest because we provide beneficial information and assistance in homeschooling, business, wellness, mental health, resources, and life. We encourage you to pick up a copy of our magazine today on Amazon.com by simply searching the Homeschooling Interactive Magazine. The Homeschooling Interactive Magazine is all about impacting the world through home-based learning, helping to de-stress the homeschooling experience. Get your copy from Amazon today. CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
All right. Great afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Education Station podcast. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Miss Abbie, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Hey, Miss Abbie. It's just been like, It's only been a few days. We just seen each other, then we seen each other again. Hey, girl, hey.
Yeah, hey.
So I am excited that Abbie joining me on the Women Empowerment Month. I decided to do this podcast on women in business. So if you're a woman in business and you want to come on, talk about what you're doing in business, what events you got going on, how people can reach you, empower you, how we can build a network of women being in business. Okay. So Abbie's going to share a little bit brief about her story, her bio, a little bit about you guys. And first off, I want to thank CTR Media Network for giving us this time, this slot in this podcast to come on, to be a voice, to let other people's come in. So share this with everybody. If you're catching the replay, I'm sorry you weren't here live with us, but how you doing? So Miss Abbie, go on and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Abbie Fisher, and I have two family child care facilities, and they are both in commercial locations. Most family child cares are done within someone's home, but we run ours in professional commercial locations. So when people walk in our doors, they immediately assume that we are small centers because that is how we operate. We operate on an entirely different level than what most family child cares do. From our staff to our classroom setup, we are on a completely different professional level. And it is just something that I have loved to do for years. Went into this back in 2010. Before that, I actually worked to help other people build their dreams in their child care centers, and did that for a long time. And didn't take me long to realize that that's what I was doing. I was helping other people build their programs. And somebody told me a long time ago that if you are in other people's programs working and you consistently see that you can do it a better way, you should probably quit and do it a better way. And so that is when I left, and I've been doing it a better way. I started out with 6 children in my home back those years ago, and it went from 6 children in my home, word of mouth spread to 12 children, hired my first employee in my home, then went from 12 children in my home to I moved my whole family out of my home. I leased another home, and I turned the home that we owned into 2 family child care locations under one roof, with 2 sets of staff, 2 completely different businesses with 2 completely separate tax IDs under one roof. It has never been done in my state. It has never been done since. And then after that, some time after that, I had a major divorce. My ex-husband wasn't into women working, and it's Women's Month, and I'm all about women working and being independent. And I also have 4 daughters that I want to grow up and be independent women. So
Yes.
I decided after that I would start over, and I started over with absolutely nothing. I had nothing but my clothes and my kids' clothes in garbage bags. And I started over, and again, um, that's when I went to commercial buildings. I just prayed on it, and I was able to lease my first commercial building, and I repeated the exact same model that I'd been doing in my home. And I've been blessed to have commercial locations ever since. Um, I've done 2 different childcare brands in the state of West Virginia. They've all been super successful. We
Mm.
stay full on enrollment. Um,
Awesome.
it's just a very blessed program that I run. And recently, we have decided that I opened a coaching program so that I could help other family child care providers who would like to follow in the same footsteps or who would like to just get started. Our state is very backwards in that there's really no guidance when
I
it
think it's
comes
every state.
to they want to open a child care. That's every
Mhm.
state. I speak
Yeah.
English. That's every state. But you want to open a child care, there's really no guidance. You get that packet in the mail and you're just overwhelmed. And
Mhm.
so a lot of people do what I did. They just stay where they are and they're miserable. And we don't want people to be miserable.
Yeah.
And for me, had I had help at the time, I would have shifted a lot quicker. But I didn't have help. And so there's really nobody to help people that are in the family child care business in the state do this or anywhere around here locally. So I wanted to open this other business, and it's called the Abbie Poppinz Childcare Business Consulting
And
Agency,
I
LLC.
love that name, by the way. I was like, when my PR manager was like, "What is the name of it?" I said, "Abbie's Poppin'." I think that's a Z right there. Wait a minute. So
Well,
I
I named it that
love that
because
name.
I want it to come back, bring the magic back to childcare. You know, childhood memories, that's the magical time.
Okay.
That's what we want for children. We want their childhood to be magical. And there's so many children who aren't getting that. There's so many
Mhm.
children who walk into childcare programs who they're not having a magical day. They're going in
Mhm.
and they have staff sitting on their phones and they're just surviving. They're just staying alive. They're just being kept alive. They need a curriculum box like you have behind you there. You know,
Yes.
they got nothing going on. That's right. And so that's what we want. We want programs that are successful and we want to support people. We want to support women. And, you know, I'm not against having male workers in daycare in the program. It cuts some of the drama. I'll be real honest about it.
Mhm.
I enjoy having male workers in the program. Um, but with the consulting company, I really truly, want to help them. And I offer different packages from getting that initial packet and getting it filled out to
Okay.
assisting them in even contacting licensing, contacting all the agencies they're going to need, getting all of that paperwork completed in place through all of their inspection process, through marketing, through hiring, through the entire thing, through being open, operating, everything that I never had. So I offer
Mhm.
packages for all of that.
Mhm.
And then in addition to that, I've started a package also to do event childcare for weddings, Comic Cons, anything that anybody wants to host that they don't want kids at.
And that's
So
that's big. That's big. I've seen a lot of people are not
conferences,
inviting kids to their weddings. They like, no, I don't want no kids at no weddings, no baby showers. I'm like, dang, that kids can't even participate in weddings no more. What happened to the ring bearers and the flower girls? Where they go?
they're just we have a whole different generation of people right
Hmm.
now. We have a whole lot of kids that went through, were raised through COVID. A whole lot of kids that and I call them kids because they're like in their 20s.
Oh, we got a
Um,
good question, Abbie.
and they
Let
went
me put that on the
through the
screen.
COVID. They're very introverted. They're doing things just totally different on parenting level in a way that
Hmm.
we was never shown. And it makes sense to them, but it comes across as really odd to us. But if we can make some money off of it, we'll make some money off of it.
Yep. Increase your value.
If they don't want them kids in the room, I'll be happy to come keep them kids busy. We give those kids a magical time and they can go get hitched and we'll just move on about the business.
Right.
But, a lot of us have that gift. It was put on us. We can go in Walmart or we can go in a library. We can go anywhere and those babies just gravitate to us.
Right.
They see us and they smile. They don't know us. The parents is like, what's going on? But they connect with us. And that's the kind of people need to be doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
So that's something I'm working on with the company, but also I'm working on putting together packages to do on-site childcare centers for corporations. Because in our state, especially, we're looking at big companies coming into our state. But there's no childcare. And so our state in particular has promised these companies, I've sat through the meetings with biting my teeth, promised these companies, hey, you can just buy existing spots from providers that are already established and licensed. There are no spots.
Right.
So unless you expect us to kick out all the people we already have, you're lying to these people.
Or they're going to expand your space.
But in West Virginia, there was no money at all invested in expanding childcare. Not $1. So anybody that's been established in this business has not expanded. Now, I expanded and put in a second location through the pandemic, but that's because I know my business.
They ain't hear you, Abbie. You said you expanded through the pandemic. That's because she know her
business. We expanded during the pandemic. And we stayed full, we profited, but not everybody has had that capability. A lot of people has thrown up their hands and walked away. A lot of people has not known how to hire staff. A lot of people don't want to deal with this new age set of parents who a lot of them just seem to be, they're right and you're wrong, no matter what you say. And that's very difficult on the staff. I'm finding that that's a big deal. And I don't know about you, LaShawn, but that's starting to be a big deal right now. That's something we're kind of facing, where this new stream of parents, they won't make excuses for the children. So we got a lot of experience. I'm a mommy and I've done this for 23 years. I've been a mom for 19. I got 5 kids of my own, ages 1 to 18. So I've done this a long time. I got a lot of expertise. But sitting down and reading a book, they know more than I do. So it's very difficult to cater to some people. It's starting to come. I'm starting to face. It's hard on the staff too.
Just keeping them going, keeping that momentum. I find if you stick with your policies, stick with your rules, and make sure that your staff know the rules and your parents know the rules, and even sometimes your own licensing procedures know the rules. The licensing people know the rules as well that goes with your program. But we do have one hot comment that came in from Miss Shamika Finch. She said, how do you get parents to feel comfortable with men? I guess she means with men being in your child care facility.
Well, for me, my husband works in the business every day. He works in my preschool program. One of my family child cares is actually a preschool. I made one a preschool and one is an infant toddler program. And he works in there in the preschool. Okay. And for me, the way I advertise that program is that he is a male figure to the children who do not have one. There's many children who do not have a dad. They don't have a grandpa. They don't have any kind of male figure in their life whatsoever. And so to be able to come here and have that on a daily basis is wonderful to them. It's something that they're not going to get somewhere else, regularly. And I have cameras everywhere. So, that should give peace of mind as well. I always say don't operate if you don't have a camera up. But I would say that regardless of if it was a man or a woman in the classroom, I do feel that men are completely capable to do the job. A couple of
Mm-hmm.
summers ago, I had a young man work with me in one of my facilities, and he was an assistant to me. He is a music teacher for the public school system now, and he did music and was wonderful with the children when he was in my program. And I've not had one complaint from any parents once they came in and saw the value that the men were bringing to the program, and what they were actually sitting down and doing with the children during the day when they would come in and actually see this is what's being taught, this is what we're doing. And I mean, my husband will even sit down and do circle time with the children. So you don't want to put a male in your program to just have a body in there. You really want to delegate, and you really want to give them a teaching role that is specific. Uh, but they're really wonderful at it. They truly are. I think so.
Yeah, you got some men that have that same gift as the women staff members in your company as well. And it's hard to find some. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard to find some that
Mhm.
really want to care for the kids as just as much as you care for the kids. And maybe we'll have a podcast with your husband to come on here and talk to the men to get in childcare to talk. Hey, y'all need to get in these classrooms. But it
Yeah,
is
and
like a lot of dads. I can count on my hand how many dads actually come into my program that I see, or grandparents that I see. And I said the same thing not too long, like last year. I was like, I said, we had Father's Day breakfast, and I was like, well, it ain't even that many men that really come into our building to, that we see that come pick up the kids besides a handful. And so you don't know, and that's a good thing to have that male image inside of your program. So that way they'll know, because we always got to be so dominant. We have to raise our voice and be like, come over here and sit. We try to say, come over here and sit down. Then you got to be like, boy, if I come over here and sit down.
yeah.
So if
And
you have that
you want
male
to
voice,
normalize that before they go to kindergarten too, because the public school system has
that's right,
many men teachers. A lot of our gym teachers are male. I've seen male librarians.
Mm-hmm.
We've got male principals and children who have went through early education programs who've never had a male figure in the school system. They're kind of going to be taken back by that. So that's kind of something we want to prepare and normalize for them if we're able to in our program.
Right.
Now you may have a situation where that's not going to work out. You may have women that act a fool once you put a man in the workplace. But if you have women that act a fool once you put a man in the workplace, if he's doing his job according to the job description you've given him, and you
Mm-hmm.
see that he is fulfilling the role and it's not him, you're going to have to let her go. But I really do feel and have seen, I can testify that they do completely add value in there.
Well, that is awesome. She says she's building a course for kids, and a men will be teaching. So it's so I want to know how to introduce it without backlash. So hopefully Abbie answered your question on that, how to introduce your program without getting so much. And it's also, I don't know if y'all do it at y'all program, it's just introducing the new teachers to your parents before they either enroll. I mean, before they take the job or not take the job, but before they get into the classrooms, you have that welcome new teacher, such and such, such and such, and you let them know what are their criteria, what are they there for. And that's where you're supposed to, get the pictures of the new staff member. That's something that you can do to introduce the parents as well. And that way the parents know who's coming into the building.
Yeah, and you could do like, along with a little biography. I mean, you could also, start bringing them in as a little co-teacher, maybe in a different classroom on a couple days a week. Have them come in, maybe start reading some books on some afternoons so that parents can start seeing them interact with the kids before they fully take over with that one specific group, because then they're already building a relationship and start to
Yes.
feel that safety with them.
Yeah, she said you answered her question. Well, we glad we did. If anybody else have any other questions that you would love to ask Miss Abbie, I want to ask her this. Girl, I was so ready to get my daycare at my house. I didn't know what to do. I was looking at buildings. I looked at so many buildings, small buildings, miniature buildings. I just wanted it at my house. Like, and I was only in my house, my current location that I'm in, my home that I'm in now. I was only here for a good 6 months, and I was ready for it to go. I was ready. I was like, look, I gotta find me a building. Even my husband was ready for it to go because it was like the kids took over our whole house. So for you to just say, hey, you told us at the conference, you just put a wall up and you had this over here and this over here, and you were still living in that house. I needed freedom. I wanted to be gone from the house. So how did you feel? How was that change for you? I want you to speak about how that change felt for you when you just was like, this was it. I gotta move on.
You mean when I decided to move out?
Yeah, when did you move out? Like,
Okay. Well, I had 4 kids at the time, and my youngest she was about 1.5 at the time, and I just was cleaning all day. I mean, always wondering, like, is the health department going to stop in? Is the fire marshal going to stop in? Is the Department of Agriculture going to stop in? Because somebody always having to be stop in. Always. Because I had, staff, and then just, you have those parents that they want to call, make stuff up. So you always wondering who's going to stop in. But like when you're living in that family child care home, like, them kids put toothpaste all over the sink. They throw them dishes wherever they want. Then they're getting ready for school and they put the clothes everywhere. And then you know how they peel their clothes off and they leave the underwear stuck in the pants. And they just, it's like a shell that they lose. And just stuff everywhere. So all I did was clean. Like, I don't even know how I stayed overweight at the time. Because all I did was clean. And I just got so sick of it. So I sat down and I did my budgeting. And it's like, well, I'm making this much off one facility. So I said, I'm gonna build a wall in the middle of the house, and I'm gonna split the house into 2. So I have always, since I was in my home, closed the whole week of Christmas break, because that's my time with my kids. My kids share me with everybody else year round, but the week of Christmas, I'm theirs. And I tell everybody that it's in my handbook. There are people that don't like it, but that's my time. So I knew I was going to be close. So at the time, I believe my ex-husband, he's down with the man cold. Didn't want to take care of the kids. So I packed the kids up. I took all 4 of the kids to that house with me. And what I did was I had my family help, and I leased another house that was probably 4 minutes from that one.
Okay.
It's actually bigger. I mean, it was an upgrade for me. So took the dog, and we just moved all my stuff. Just moved everything out. And then I built the wall over Christmas break. We built the beams completely in the middle of the house. And then we drywalled all of it, because in our state, everything has to be completely separate. Separate entrances, separate exits, separate kitchen, separate bathrooms, separate everything, separate staff, separate FEINs, separate permits for everything separate. So I was like, y'all gonna make this as hard on me as you can. And the truth was, they'd never seen it done and didn't want to admit it. But I was determined to make it happen, because that's extra money. So I got the wall built, and then we kept one kitchen as a full kitchen on one side. And then the other side did not have, I didn't have money to put no full kitchen in, be cooking meals. But in the health department regulation, it said that all I needed to have was a kitchenette,
Right.
which was a microwave, stove, a microwave, a hot plate, and a small refrigerator. So for about $150, I fixed that up with a piece of countertop out of Home Depot or Lowe's, remember which one it was, in a closet. And I took the door off the closet. So that fixed that. And then
because we know how to make stuff work. That's the thing. People don't understand in childcare, they give us so many rules and regulations. Me and my aunt was just talking about this earlier today. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's so many rules and regulations and so many guidelines that you gotta follow, that you gotta do this, and you got even for home daycares. Because that's what made me not. I was like, I might as well just go ahead and go center. Because I wanted to be licensed in my home, because I was like, I can cook at my home, I can have my kids at home, but then I wanted that freedom to be able to walk outside, go to an office, dress up when I feel like it, meet new people, and not just be talking to children all day. But it is, when people say, oh, you make this look so easy, I want to open up my own daycare, they don't understand it's licensing procedures, it's a lot of rules behind it. And you got some people that's probably on this live or on this podcast station right now that's like, I really want to open up a home center, but they stuck. And so with you having your own consulting firm, the Abbie Poppinz.com. I love that name.
Hey, I can make it happen for next to nothing. You know what? I have this on my wall in my office because it literally is my journey. I'm gonna pop it off my wall and show you. I got pictures.
Look, I was trying to see if I can pull it up. Let me not mess nothing up. I'm good for messing something up. Look.
Let's see if we pull it up here.
Look, she said we're gonna show the proof today.
I showed
yes.
All right. Woo. So right here at the bottom, this is my first classroom, living room. Hold on, I'm going the wrong way. That's my living room at the bottom. That's my front door. Then when I tell you that I took the wall out of the house, there's me doing it.
Yeah, she wasn't playing. Look at the wall, y'all. I wouldn't even know how to build a wall. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be on YouTube.
So there's me building a wall in between the kitchen and the whole house. Now, at the conference, I also said I didn't have no money. So I hand painted my own logo on the wall with 50-cent paint from Walmart. It turned out good.
But that's the thing. They don't, with this Women Empowerment podcast, what I want people to understand is that women, we sacrifice a whole lot in our businesses. Sometimes we sacrifice sleep. We sacrifice being with family members, our own loved ones that live with us, our own kids. And what she's showing y'all is a sacrifice. A lot of it's
all me. I had no sleep. I had no help. I had a husband that did not support me. Babies at my feet. And this was my living room, y'all. See where that tiger is? That was one facility in my home. Right there with the slide and the tiger. And up there at the top, I couldn't afford no cubbies when I started out. So right here at the top, that's milk crates that I put together with zip ties. That was where my parents came in my door at the time. Until I was able to get this shelf.
Upgrade. So I love your story, Miss Abbie. I love it.
When I went to 2 facilities and moved my family out into the other home, all of this is what my home looked like inside there. I am terrible at this. That's all. And right down here, I was telling you where I didn't have that diaper table at the conference. That's the diaper area I put together in the closet because I didn't have no room.
Yeah, she done made a diaper room, the closet room, the diaper room.
to commercial facilities that I've designed and owned and run, all the way to having LED lit signs and commercial buildings.
So you got you like a miniature vision board just sitting up there, and you got a whole how your vision was from the point you started to now where you're successful and you're able to coach and teach other people how to be successful and building up your home daycare. And
Yeah.
people think it's easy. I have people reach out to me on Facebook, be like, well, help me. They say this, that. I'm like, it's not that easy. You really and truly, you got to have a heart and passion for childcare.
Yes.
It's many people that think, oh, we make all these bukus of dollars and everything else. Yeah, we make some good money. I ain't gonna lie to you. We do make good money, but you got to learn how to invest in yourself. You also got to learn how to that storyboard she just showed you. You got to put a storyboard together for yourself to understand where you want to go. See, people didn't see me when I was inside that townhouse, in a 3-bedroom townhouse, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And God had two parent to knock on my door with 2 wonderful kids. Them 2 kids turned into multiple kids. A lot of children started coming through. I told my husband, I said, I counted, because I went back to my receipt books. I still got my receipt books from when I had my home daycare. And I said, I had over 80-something kids run through my home program. 80. Now I'm licensed for 58 in the center. And I had 80 kids run through my home program. And a lot of them really, if I said I was opening up my home back up again, they kids a little older. They probably like, you doing after school? You doing aftercare? I know if Brandy King is on here watching us, she been asking me to do aftercare for years. And I said, no, them people are the same height as me. They think we friends. They don't know that I'm a teacher as well. But I love that. And that was something that I wanted to just stay, was a home. Because when you go to center, that's a big old ball game. That's a lot of other paperwork, but you can do it. I tell people, if you can tolerate home, it's just a little bit of more paperwork. But if you love just being in that comfort atmosphere and you love to have the children to feel like they at home, stay as a home center. But get you a consultant, get you somebody that has been in the game for a while, that can mentor you, that can help you grow your business to where you want it to go. Don't think you can do this alone. You cannot do childcare by yourself. You need a community of childcare sisters, friends, or whatever to help you build your brand where you want it to go. Shamika said, not Shamika, Miss Connie, she had a question. She said, you have to work it before you start your own business. And that is true. I worked in childcare before I started my own childcare. And I'm pretty sure, Abbie, you worked in childcare before you started your own childcare?
Yep, for years.
So, and how many years have you been open again for your home?
Since 2010.
See.
But I've been in childcare for 23.
Ooh-wee.
But look how long that I spent doing it for other people.
Yeah. And it might be somebody out there right now.
And one of the biggest reasons that I keep that hanging up in my office, there's so many people that I talk to, they're like, well, I can't afford to do that. They're literally, that's a photograph of me doing it with nothing.
I love a good yard sale. Me and my mama and my husband used to love going to them yard sales. You find all type of stuff at them yard sales, baby. You be like, oh my God. Oh, playpens. I had playpens galore. I can sell playpens. How much my mom used to buy them playpens, and she passed by a yard sale and say, "Oh, my daughter needs that playpen." One of my friends came from Memphis, was like, "Y'all can use packing plays." I was like, "Yeah, they ain't said nothing about it." I had packing plays all through my baby room, and I looked at the picture. Facebook tell on you. I looked at the picture from the upgrade. I was like, oh my God, I was using these packing plays that I got from a yard sale. Didn't nobody know I cleaned them packing plays in my tub. I found some on YouTube, how you can clean packing plays. I used to come in, clean them, and they looked brand new. And I was like, it's not fake it till you make it. It's just you knew where you was going to go. I created a vision board how I wanted my baby room to be, how I wanted my toddler room to be. And once I get to that level, I'm remodeling my toddler room now, girl. I feel like I remodel that toddler room every year. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd be like, I don't like it this way. I don't like this either. But it's not that I remodel. I see like different little things. Kids change. So the first set of kids, they might have liked them toys, but the next group of kids, they ain't interested in them toys no more. They want something else. So I say that because my home daycare, when parents walked in here, you couldn't go nowhere but right here where I'm at now, the little space I'm in now, it was my home daycare.
Wow.
I turned it into my queen cave and my arts and craft room. So it ain't no home. I don't want to go back to that home daycare. I still got a memory of a little boy where he hit his head over here. And every time I think about opening back up a home daycare, I just look over at that spot. No, Jesus said no. Because I can't. Now go by my bathroom. I remember when the child tried to throw the remote in my toilet. No, Jesus, no. I don't want to do that again. Fishing out a remote.
See, some states will not allow you to do family childcare in a commercial location. But the ones that do, it cuts you the slack to not have to have like the fire sprinkler system installed, fireproof doors, the bigger cost items that you do have to have when you have a large center.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think ours is group. So, a lot of people, they got the family home daycares, but now they're changing them to where everybody has to be basically looking like a center. So I talked to a young lady today. She was like, it's like they basically making me go to center. Yeah, pretty much, So just get ready for the transformation. That's why I set up my home daycare like it was a center. I had the sign in, sign out sheets. I had ProCare even before I was even into a massive center. I had ProCare.
That sounds like me. I just from day one, and my first licensing person, they came out and they were like, "Why are you doing all this?" And it's because I did it because I was coming from centers, so that's all I knew. Mm-hmm. So that's why I've always really operated the way that I have, because it's all I knew on how to do things. And then when I saw like how less I could get away with, I didn't feel comfortable with it. So I kept doing it on the level that I felt like was right, So that's really why I do a lot of the things the way that I do.
Yeah.
So you want to do it top notch, it's your business.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, even I sometimes walk into my own daycare center and I look around, I'll be like, oh, is this right? Like, I'm looking at the floors, I'm getting the floors remodeled, I'm getting this because you want it at a standard. You want it at the standards that your parents are paying for as well. You want to make sure that it's warm and inviting, and your parents is liking it, not just your parents, the outside community, because I'm all about my community as well, like inviting them to, I do massive events. I'm one of them drummer events. I like doing back to school events, all types of stuff. So I open my doors to the community for everything. I'll be like, oh, we're doing a prom. It's for the community, So they like,
yeah.
But you never know who needs you, and how your building looks matters. How your space looks matters, because did nobody know I wasn't licensed with the state when I was in my home daycare. They did not know that. They did not ask me for, do they ask you for your licensing number? No, they didn't ask me that, because the way my space was set up, it was clean. It was set up as a center. I had the infant room was over here. I had the bigger kids over here. I had center set up, and you walked in, you checked in, you registered, you took a tour. You took a mini tour because it was one space. You looked. You just turned one time. That was it. And I had this ugly old couch that everybody used to call the Dr. Phil couch, because when you sit there, you start telling your story, your life story. So we had that old ugly couch that sat there. But it was just, it felt like home. That's what most of my home daycare parents was telling me. It was like, no, it's just, once you go to a center, it ain't going to feel like home. Like, I feel like you cook for us. I was cooking then. Now I don't cook. I don't cook, Abbie. I just come home and I wait on my husband to cook. I was like, nothing is cooking. So I did that part. I did miss, coming home, the fresh laundry, cooking. But I just got to the point to where I was like, it's more out there for me, and I don't want to just be in my house all day long.
And you had to start somewhere to build your brand. And, in-home and commercial locations, a great way to learn the business, one, but also, to build your reputation, to build your brand. Mm-hmm. And that's really come a long way for us to be able to have that and do that. And
Did you have
I
any?
enjoy having the
Uh-oh.
smaller amount of kids. When I
Yes.
worked in centers, the last center I worked in, I was the evening shift supervisor for our and I did the after school classroom. And so I had 36 after schoolers to myself and one special needs child in that mix that was in diapers. And I wanted to lose my mind. It kind of burnt me out. And
Yeah. Yeah.
you know how you think about if you have a trauma on something, you just don't ever want to do it again. I kind of go back to that every time I want to go big to do a center to remind myself. I'm like, do I want to do that? But I really do I like the smaller rooms. The way
And
that
that's what I tell people that want to start out with daycare. I be like, "Hey, you tried doing it at home first?" And they be like, "No, I want to go straight to center." I be like, "You might want to try it at home first, because I
they
feel
might
like
not like it, you know, and also, you know, like getting to know them parents and how that works and like just generally hiring people um and getting to know people, working with people. Some people are not cut out for that. Some
right."
people are not people. Um
She said,
they
"People,
don't have
people."
the personality for it. They don't. And it could be real hard on them. So if, for example, they invested a lot of money into a building to lease it or purchase it, and it wasn't for them, you know, that'd be real hard to come back from if it really
Mhm.
didn't work out for them. That'd be a big step.
Have you seen a lot of people? Because I know here we don't seen a lot of daycares just opening, and a lot of them just closing. Out where you are, have a lot of daycares been opening and
Yeah.
not sustaining a lot?
A lot of them open to get the American Rescue Plan Act money. Places that were new that opened didn't get as much, but they literally still got big checks, and then they kind of just closed their doors at the right time. So we're left without a lot of childcare right now. People also opened out of school time. I
Mm,
think they're called out of school time programs of some kind. I'm not really sure what they're
like an
called.
after school program.
Yeah, and they made money off of those. And
Mm,
then the funniest thing to me that I've heard through this whole thing was that childcare doesn't make the state any money. So we're not going to put any money into it.
oh
So
wow.
pretty much that was said by one of our senators in a meeting. So
Oh
pretty
wow.
much
Look, I
we
had to
are
sit up and
investing in
sit
our
my teeth.
roads right now. We're investing in our roads. Um,
But not in
child
childcare programs.
childcare doesn't bring money in, so we're not vested in that because one of her
I,
one of
I
her
would,
one of her friends opened a daycare center during COVID and it didn't go very well. So she couldn't keep people hired, so she had to close it. When the truth is she needed a childcare coach because she didn't know how to operate childcare. She thought going into childcare was just going to be quick money. Enroll the
mhm.
kids, quick money. Want to charge you $300 a week, quick money. And that's not how childcare business operates.
Not at all.
It takes a special person to operate a childcare business with some knowledge. And this girl didn't have it. But the senator based our based how she's operating things on that, and said that publicly. So we're putting money into roads, and when this American Rescue Plan money runs out, it's gone, and that's kind of what we're looking at here in this state.
And I was gonna come back to that because I wonder because the reason why I feel like a lot of the daycares is not filling up a lot, and this can be, somebody probably like, no, it's not, no, it's not. A lot of people working from home now, and they see that the benefit of me, I don't have to commute that much. I could just sit right here in my house and do my work from right here. I don't have to worry about gas, food, all the other stuff to move. So if I take a work at home job, because I had a few parents that told me I work from home, and then they tried, and then they realized, oh no, little Johnny don't want to sit down. He all over the place. I see why I got him in daycare. So
Yeah,
it's like, I have seen that a lot been going on, that a lot of parents have been taking in work at home jobs, and they think it's easier to keep their child at home versus putting them inside the daycares. And far as the Rescue Act money, it's like, they holding on to something that needs to really support. And I'm speaking of your state and everything. They really can support to open up other centers to where it's not overwhelming, or help y'all with y'all staff as well as in ours too. Help y'all with y'all staff. We are looking at, we need to pour more into getting our staff paid a lot more than what we are worth. Them roads, baby, they gonna pave them roads 5 million times, and it's still gonna be a pothole or somewhere down the line. We need more educators. We need more buildings to be able to house these kids inside. So that's something that you have to, and thanks to Coach Dr. Adria for bringing the senator up there to talk to us at the conference about what money is there and everything else. But also that means you got to write the letters and have everybody positioning to sign them letters and stay in them people inboxes. Stay in that meetings with everybody. That's good that you on a board, that you create a board too of childcare owners, because it's not just one childcare owner that got a story. It's thousands.
Mm-hmm.
That can tell a story, that can help somebody else in a different state. Because I'm pretty sure what I go through in my state, Abbie probably don't went through in her state, and we all need to have a voice to start going to the White House and writing stuff to them to tell us, hey, we enough is enough. Y'all, the stakes. I was telling somebody this today. I said they gave us a raise, but I still don't see it. I said it didn't seem like a raise to me. It didn't. Because I'm the budget person. I'm the money person. I'm the one, I'm looking at every dollar amount, because it doesn't make sense that we have all these requirements but little money coming in. And so it's like it's slowly coming in. Like, we got to do all these hoops and ladders just to get a grant that is guaranteed to us. We should be able to fill out a piece of paper we operate a business. We're here. We shouldn't have to put all this other extra stuff into a grant that we're operating a business. But you said it, Abbie. You said because people are closing and they take the money and then they shoot off. So it be them one couple of bad batch of apples that mess it up for everybody else. It's just like rules and regulations. You're like, why did they come up with that rule? It got to be one senator done did something wrong for them to come up with that rule. You like, for real? So that's a rule? Yep, they made it a rule affected on da-da-da-da-da-da date. You like, for real? So now you got to change everything. So that's the type of change that we are looking for this year. Is basically, we want a voice for every child care provider. I don't care if you in home, out of home, center, group, whatever you are, and you like, hey, I want to be on these calls. I need to be in these rooms. Get into these rooms. Start networking with other child care providers. Don't look at it as competition. Abbie is not my competition, honey. She is in a whole different state. She is somewhere else. Even if you went to Tennessee, you're not my competition, because I know how to market myself. I know how to talk, and I know how to get the people in. We just need to group together and start helping each other out. If one of my sisters don't understand it, then we're going to work. We're going to sit on that phone till me and Abbie figure out what we can do together to get you that money. How we can help you build your center up, or your location that you're in up. So we got to stop that. Oh, well, no. Because even somebody with 4 or 5 centers, they still struggle.
Yeah.
And I commend
it's like we were saying. I mean, you could have 10 locations. 10 locations doesn't mean that you have a bunch of money. It's just like here, our senator's friend thought she was going to get all that money really fast by opening that one big location, and it didn't pan out. It didn't pan out because she didn't have the business knowledge or the background in childcare to make it happen, to make it work.
What you tell her, Abbie? She need a childcare coach.
That's right. She needed a childcare coach.
Abbie say she need a childcare coach.
That's what she needed. That's right.
Well, I'm trying to read her comment. She said they think that until they can't take any phone calls because the kids won't sit down, they need to drop them kids off. Right. Yeah, she talking about the parents that want to stay at home. They got the at-home jobs, and they think they can. Yeah, that parent came back quickly and was like, I can't do this. I don't know how y'all do this every single day. Kids are used to a structure and schedule. But we also need to realize as well as I'm in the Screams to Heaven. That's what my Let's Go Kids do. A lot of parents that do want to be at home with their babies, but they don't know how to apply the educational tools to them. You can order the Let's Go kits, and this will help with you sitting little Johnny down for 10 minutes while you can take a phone call, because he's doing an arts activity that is quiet, that is you can sit right there on the side with him, and he's like, okay, you gluing the eyeballs? Okay, glue the eyeballs then, baby. Oh, you're painting? You're painting. And that could be an activity for the whole month. So guess what? While you sitting at home taking your phone calls, you can get one of these Let's Go kits curriculums, and you'll be able to work at home all day long, out in peace, and little Johnny be tired. But I do
all they
want
got to do is plan that day.
Man, do what we
The
do.
same as if they were in their office. They're in their office, and they're fitting in these 10 minutes, 15 minutes, here and there. They do the exact same thing right there at home.
Right there at home. Mm-hmm. Right there. And I did it for a while with my daughter. I worked at Converges, and she was at home with me. But my daughter was a different breed, baby. She slept all day until her daddy got off work. And but when he got off work, it was like, woo, I ain't really do much. She was potty training, so she would go to the pot, go back to sleep, get up, eat, and that was it. So my days was when I worked at home doing customer service. It was really a breeze with her. It was when she got like to the point to where she got a little antsy or something. I give her a coloring book or give her some worksheets, and she'll sit down with her little laptop. My mama bought her one of them little desk trays, and she'll act like she doing work like I'm doing work. And it was easy. It's just how, like you just said, coming up with a schedule, coming up with a routine. In our city, it's not a lot of collaboration, but we are paving the way. LaShawn, so hey, coach. Hey, girl, hey. Yes, we are. If you're in the Chattanooga area, we are getting ready to do a sip and shop with the education station in April, where we are calling all childcare owners to come down to the education store, and we're going to collab. We're going to talk about the issues that we have going on in Chattanooga with our childcare industry and how we can support each other, building each other up, helping each other, especially in the staffing and in enrollment, and making sure that we stay as a network in the childcare community in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So we will meet you in April. I'll be giving you further details with a flyer and everything else. So yes, Shamika. Look, Shamika wasn't gonna hold nothing back tonight, y'all. She came with the questions. So Miss Shamika, you didn't know this, but you will get a coupon in your email, because I am thanking you for all your comments, your questions, making this podcast enjoyable. You have been sending us questions, so we thank you for joining us. Miss Abbie, she laughs. She laughing at me. She know I'm gonna get her. She know I'm gonna get her. But she's telling the truth. That's something that you can think about too, Miss Abbie. Just collaborating with some of the ladies that's in your network, in the group home community, or the home community, and sit down and having a sip and tea and say, hey, let's just chill. Let's just talk about it. We can talk about childcare all night long, but that's something that we need to work together in. And we build a community with the Eye on the Daycare brand. That's how I met Miss Abbie, and we've been friends for now going on about 4 years. I mean, I've been knowing Abbie for so long. She has a great personality, and we collaborated on a book. I was trying to find your cover of your book. Do you got your book with you? You ain't got your book with you? We collaborated on a book, on the Let's Get It Done
no,
book.
I don't have it with me.
I know, right? I was looking for the cover. I was like, where's the cover? But we collaborated on the book, and I read her portion of the book, and I was just like, I could really hear Abbie's voice in this book, y'all. It was so amazing. I was like, yep, this is Abbie.
For Shamia, I don't have a lot of collaboration here in my state. And so this past summer, it really reached a point for me where, because I was having no collaboration, I just took it upon myself to start my own corporation. And that's something that you can do as well. It'll cost you about $249 once you make it a corporation legally, but you could use that to invite and inspire other providers in your area if you want to. You can make a Facebook page. You could do like local events. You could run it as a nonprofit, which is my intent to do with mine. But I've had a lot of success with having people join it. A lot of people follow it. A lot of people aren't interacting with it yet. That's not to say that I'm going to give up on it, because I do
Right.
have a lot of people who have at least followed it. So that's a positive for me. And I share a lot of
Mhm.
like state training information and things like that on it to keep it active. Um, but I named it the West Virginia Childcare Provider Alliance Corporation. So that's definitely something that you could do. But I network like Sean said. We do the I own a daycare uh networking together, and with people just all over the world, basically,
Mhm.
so that you just don't ever feel alone. And if there's times where you just, I mean, and there are for me, I'll just be real. There are times where I just feel crushed in this industry. I have
Mhm.
days where I come in and like that's why I keep that picture hanging where it's at, because that's right where I come in my office door. It's like the first thing I see to make me not just want to quit and walk right back out. Because we all have those days sometimes. But when I look at that,
Yeah.
I'm like, I put all those hours in. I got through all this. I can't walk back out the door now. Plus, I'm walking into my own office. Something that I never had until we had these two locations. I was working out of my bedroom, sitting on the side of my bed, sitting up against my headboard. So I have to look back and realize just how blessed I am. But
Mm.
there's always a way to collaborate. There's always us. You can message me anytime. I talk childcare with anybody all the time. So that's what I was going to say.
Yep. Yeah, it can't. That's what you said that. I was thinking that to myself today. I was like, oh my God, I'm the toddler teacher right now. And I'm like, oh my, which I love. That was the class I started with when I started childcare, is toddlers. But these toddlers right here, they try you. They be make you be feel like you got to be a gangster some days, because baby, them toddlers be trying me. I be like, really? But I really got a great set of toddlers. They really are. They fun. They got a personality out of this world. Like I be trying to answer the phone, they like, hello, hello. They try to sound like me. And I was like, I was thinking in my head, and I was telling my assistant director today, I was like, I said, I really wouldn't trade this in the world. Yes, I want a toddler teacher, but I want a toddler teacher out there really can love on these kids the way they need to be loved. We just, it was the reason why I had to go back into that building, because I had to see what God has brought me from my home to a center, to another center, to another center, if in case, but I'm just saying, it's just that it gets to the point where you feel alone sometimes. And I share this with my Philly friends. I'm like, y'all got all them communities up there. I barely have anybody in Chattanooga that I really, besides my good friend Miss Lynn and Miss Cynthia and them, I talk to, and I'm like, but I be wanting to just be like, let's lay our hair down. Let's go shopping. I like shopping. I like going to Lakeshore and going through and talk about childcare and talk about how we can solve some of the issues in our city to where we can network together. So that's what the the sip and shop is going to be about. We just discussing some issues, hashing it out, putting some things together, just making sure that we are our own voice, because we get left behind a lot. Like you said, they rather pave the roads instead of putting new child care facilities in. Well, we got kids that stand at home and in an abuse household, or being left alone by themselves, not being watched. But we rather pave the roads. No.
Dude, well, our state, especially, those kids are hungry. These are kids that are
Mm.
at home with no food, but we rather pay for roads.
We rather pay for roads. So that's why I say it's time to write our politicians, write our senators, and say it's time to change some laws. I was honored to be at a networking event at the first beginning of this year, talking about the policies of childcare. They did not leave us. They did talk about childcare, how it's a lot of parents saying it's not affordable for them. They're not making enough to pay for childcare plus go to work. All they check is childcare. So they making new policies where parents can afford childcare, but they also looking at us like, how can we make sure y'all are accommodated as well? So it is some changes that's getting ready to be made, I know, for the state of Tennessee. So we just need to be prepared for it and making sure that we show up. Okay, we show up and not be sitting in the background talking about, well, they need to do this, this, and this. Yeah, you can talk all day long, but is you in the room?
Right.
Because if you're not in the room, then your opinion don't matter. Show up. show up and say, I want to, hey, I didn't even mean to speak, but I spoke. And I was like, oh, I got stage fright for a moment. Now I can talk any other time. Oh, these people for real want to hear me. But they wanted to hear, what do the child care expert feel? So at that point, you are the expert. When you're in them rooms, you are the expert. If you got 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, whatever many years you got, you are the expert in that room. Please speak up for us educators that's out here every single day, grinding, getting up, working their business, and taking care of the little ones that's going to someday be a state legislator themselves. The president themselves. What of y'all child care owners got the president in your daycare center?
That's right. That's true.
So I thank you, Miss Shamika, again for your questions and everything. And we're getting ready to wrap everything up, but we did want to make sure that you go check out Miss Abbie's website with abbiespoppinz.com. Also go check out her Facebook page as well. Go check out her book, The Let's Get It Done, where she talks about getting it done in the classrooms, right, Miss Abbie? And
that's right.
Yeah, so we collaborated with this book with some other strong authors that's in there, and I want y'all to go out and purchase her book. We'll make sure that we get it onto the podcast so that way y'all can see it. And for those that's out there that's like, hey, I'm next, I want to be on your podcast, I want to come on, talk about my business, I want to talk about some lifestyle things that's going on, we'll be hitting you up every Thursday. Even if I ain't got no guests, I'll be my own guest and come on Thursdays evenings with you guys just to talk about business, lifestyle goals, some childcare, some educational things to give you guys throughout the week. So don't hesitate. Click that button and join my podcast. Come on Thursdays at 6:30 to 7, and we'll see you soon. Miss Abbie, you got any last remarks, anything?
I don't.
Well, all aboard the education station. Y'all have a blessed and safe weekend, and don't forget, like my sister Lisa say, self-care weekend. So go out there and take care of yourself this weekend. Love on your family, love on your friends. Thank you again for joining the education station.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all. Look.